Welcome to the Practical Thoughts channel. In this video we're going to look at gene and personality. We found a famous case in the medical world. Elliot is a successful businessman, and he is also a good father and husband. He gets along well with friends and colleagues, and is respected by everyone. One day Elliot suddenly started to suffer from a severe headache. After a doctor's examination, it was found that he had a brain tumor. After surgery, he removed a small part of the prefrontal cortex. The operation was successful, and Elliot also recovered well, leaving no obvious sequelae. Later, he was tested for intelligence, memory, language, vision, hearing, judgment, and reading. The test results showed that all of his cognitive functions were maintained at normal or higher than normal levels. It seemed that the operation had no effect on him. However, Elliot's family complained that his personality has changed and he has no sense of time in work and life. He cannot complete the work smoothly, because if the work is interrupted by interference, he cannot start from where it was interrupted. Elliot was unemployed soon, and he tried many other jobs, all of which ended in failure. He put out all his savings to invest. Despite his family's opposition, he cooperated with a person with a bad reputation, but the business failed and all the investment was lost. In the eyes of his family, his behavior during this period was impulsive, and he did not accept other people's advice in terms of family relations. Elliot also became very bad, so he divorced soon, but soon remarried. His family and friends did not agree with him to marry this woman. Sure enough, the second marriage soon failed again. Losing his financial resources and family, Elliot became a homeless man. Some neuroscientists analyzed Elliot's experience and believed that the small part of the cerebral cortex destroyed by the brain tumor played a role in transmitting emotional information to the advanced reasoning center of the brain. Elliot said that the only change he could feel was, after the operation, he no longer had strong mood swings, which means that nothing can make his mood swings. This case tells us that people's body and mind are closely connected, and the biggest change in the body after Elliot's surgery is the change in personality, not memory, reasoning or knowledge. Many studies have shown that traumatic brain injury can cause dramatic changes in personality. From the perspective of personality psychology, physiology is very important. Physiological differences can produce differences in mental function. The Practical Thoughts channel has already mentioned a point of view that people with a certain genotype take the initiative to create or seek a certain environment. For example, high sensation seekers will tend to expose themselves to stimulating environments, and such people are more willing to participate in activities such as skydiving and racing. People with thinking and intellectual genes are more inclined to participate in activities such as speeches, reading books, and debates. Therefore, differences in physiological characteristics are related to differences in personality characteristics. A more important concept derived here is sensation seeking. It means that people have a tendency to seek stimulation and excitement and avoid boredom. Here is a simple example to facilitate understanding. Suppose there is a room with no light and no sound. If a person stays in it for 12 hours, what kind of reaction will it have? Studies have shown that people inside will feel relaxed at first, then feel bored, and then become anxious to the extent that hallucinations and delusions appear. It is a very uncomfortable and terrifying feeling. Therefore, people have the instinct to seek any sensory input, even for very boring stimuli, to avoid sensory deprivation. Some scientists believe that sensory seeking has a physiological basis, mainly the role of neurotransmitters in sensory seeking. Neurotransmitters are chemicals in neurons, and their role is to transmit nerve impulses between neurons. Neurotransmitters are chemical components released by neurons. When the nerve impulse conduction is completed, the neurotransmitter will be broken down. Otherwise, it will lead to excessive neurotransmitter conduction. Monoamine oxidase can maintain the neurotransmitter at an appropriate level. When a nerve impulse passes, monoamine oxidase breaks down the excess neurotransmitter. If there is too much monoamine oxidase, too much neurotransmitter will be broken down and nerve conduction will be blocked. If there is too little monoamine oxidase, too much neurotransmitter will accumulate in the synapse, resulting in too much nerve conduction. Take an example from the Practical Thoughts channel. You have to take a book with your hand. If you have too little monoamine oxidase in your body, too much nerve conduction will cause your hands to tremble and move quickly, but if you have too much monoamine oxidase in your body, you will feel dull and lack control. For another example, polite or slight praise and criticism will not cause violent mood swings to ordinary people. But people with too little monoamine oxidase in their bodies will be overexcited or overirritated. The great appreciation and severe criticism of people with too much monoamine oxidase in their bodies will not make them interested and attract their attention. Seeing this, you may guess whether depression is related to it, and the answer is yes. It is not difficult to understand that on a psychological level, people with low monoamine oxidase are more likely to be anxious, angry, impulsive, vulnerable, suspicious, nervous, and unconcealed than normal people. Of course, there is a difference in degree. The habit of thinking that a person has grown up for a long time will be firmly fixed in his heart, thus forming a personality over time, just like the water droplets in a cave slowly forming stalactites. By the way, monoamine oxidase is not the only factor that causes these personality traits. For example, in a person with a normal monoamine oxidase content, a certain neurotransmitter such as dopamine is abnormal due to other physiological reasons, which can also cause a certain personality trait abnormality. Only when the amount of monoamine oxidase is appropriate and the neurotransmitter is maintained at a normal level can the nervous system control muscles, thoughts and emotions normally, compared with low sensory seekers. High sensory seekers have lower blood levels of monoamine oxidase. We can conclude that physiological variables are not only related to personality, but also the biological basis for the formation of personality traits. As mentioned in the Practical Thoughts channel before, genes determine traits, and this physiological basis is no exception produced by gene expression. Therefore, the main cause of personality is genes, and the other secondary cause is the external environment. However, the formation of any kind of personality trait may involve multiple genes. Scientists are gradually identifying different personality traits and the genes that affect its formation, and are trying to find the two factors that form this personality trait, genes and external, the percentage of the environment respectively. With the rapid development of gene sequencing technology, this type of research will achieve more significant results in the near future. Our channel considers some interesting questions from the perspectives of social engineering, personality psychology, logic, statistics, genetics, and so on. We hope you enjoy the Practical Thoughts channel. By discussing useful knowledge and building consensus, we help each other reduce anxiety, doubts, and unnecessary fears, and improve our ability to defend ourselves when encountering fraud. A broad consensus is an effective guarantee for maintaining a good living environment and social system. You are welcome to share different views, discuss with everyone, and jointly maintain the correct consensus and value. Your support is the biggest motivation for our efforts. Thank you for watching our video.